Hello, Tashidil everyone. So we will start this session as soon whenever Keshala join us. So we really appreciate your patience and cooperation. Thank you.
Transition.
Shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands,
shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all direction to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all direction to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all direction to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom.
folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. Yes.
With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions. Sri Slow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom.
Thank you, everyone. You may sit now. Good evening once again. On behalf of Tibet House, New Delhi, I warmly welcome you all to this auspicious occasion of Bodhicitta Day. I am Pembadun, serving as a Deputy Program Coordinator at Tibet House, New Delhi. We are deeply honored to have with us Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul, Director of Tibet House, the Cultural Center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, New Delhi, who will guide us in undertaking the Aspirational Bodhisattva vows, with simultaneously interpretation available in Tibetan, Ladakhi, Russian, and Portuguese. A beautiful practice of generating the heartful intention to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Today is especially significant as it falls on the 15th day of the second month of the fire horse year 2153, the full moon day, a time when the effects of our actions are believed to be greatly multiplied. It is considered a most powerful day to cultivate compassion, merit, and positive intention. With deep gratitude and respect, I now humbly request Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul to kindly guide us through the teachings and the ceremony. Over to you, Geshe.
Thank you. Thank you. The online participants can hear me. Online participants can hear me. Alhamdulillah. Online participants can hear me. Just raise hands if you can hear me. Online participants. Okay, thank you. As all of you already know that since last year, July 6th, all over the world is the commemoration of the Compassion Year, the year observing the birth anniversary of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the year of the birth anniversary of His Holiness, for a whole 1 year. And to what we are doing today, I would say that of many programs happening everywhere in the world, including the programs that happen in front of His Holiness in Dharamsala in various places, and here in Tibet House also, we conducted several programs dedicated for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and including the program that which we conducted in Dr. Ambedkar the Cultural Center, where the focus was on this children, school children, and His Holiness's hope for the world lies in the children and the youth, their way of thinking that should be shaped properly. So, given that in mind, the considering His Holiness's aspiration of the world, the greatest of the hope, given that lies in the children, young children, fresh minds. So we deliberately brought our students from the schools, children from schools, and particularly Shikshanda School, a very beautiful school in Gurgaon, run by the Minodiji, Mrs. Minodiji, and her son, Isarji. So this was a very beautiful moment, reminding everybody that in this world there is somebody, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who is thinking of the whole world, the global peace, global harmony, and disarmament. And there is somebody there, the ambassador of the whole world. So this is what we focused on Tibet House Delhi. We focused our the efforts in that direction. So with this in mind, today corresponds as our program coordinator, Ms. Pedunla, indicated that today corresponds to the 15th day of the second month of the lunar calendar. I'm glad to inform you that the 15th day and the 30th day of a month, according to lunar calendar, are considered as very important according to the Indian tradition, and the Tibetan tradition came from Indian tradition since 7th century AD, and then more precisely in 8th century AD. So, in other words, whatever we are doing, the tradition, the rich culture that the whole world admires, that Tibetans have, is all what we brought from India. So this is actually what is replicated from India. So with this in mind, I'm glad to see that here at usually the earlier days before COVID, Tibet House with this hall used to be so vibrant with participants of the different teachings, programs, and so forth. And then we used to have always the meals together, tea together, then have conversations, and the seniors, advocates, the medical doctors, engineers, architects, or in some cases lawyers, So they are there. And the young ones who are just getting out of school and join the colleges, they get a great opportunity to learn from the seniors, meeting with great opportunities, a platform for the young ones to meet with the seniors, experience, very compassionate, where they're ready to share their knowledge, experience with us. And when I was a little boy, when I was a young boy, like age 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I just craved that there should be somebody there from whom I can take maximum advantage of advice and so forth. And this was what I missed in those days. And of course, I'm extremely grateful that I got to meet with incredibly brilliant or wonderfully compassionate, brilliant teachers. That is the great plus point. Otherwise, with respect to the say advice to be sought from seniors, elders, and that is something that used to happen here so vibrantly in Tibet House, and young ones who are on the verge to join college universities, and some on the verge to do PhD programs. So all these professors are here, and the young ones, they get a chance to mingle with them, they learn from them. This is a great opportunity. And then with the COVID, then everything simply locked down, and gradually this whole paradigm shift in the methodology of the teaching, how the modality of the teaching, everything became online, and now there's no COVID restriction. Still, people prefer the online. So today we see that there are offline participants who are with us, and we also have the online participants. So, with this in mind, I'll give a very quick in the intro or setting the motivation with respect to what we are doing here. So I also requested a very senior the Tibet House member here, Shalini, to lead the main prayers. She's an architect by profession, and I request her to lead the prayer. And then at the time that we take the Aspirational Bodhisattva vow, then I will take over. So just for information, that while we're all here to really crave, really be inspired to look for somebody who can really guide the world, that the world become a more harmonious place. Just imagine the whole world there. They are so harmonious. One country face a problem, and all the other countries come to support, help. If this is the world, this would be like the dream world for all of us. For all of us. Today, all the chaos, fights, conflicts, missiles, and so forth happening, and even the perpetrator, even the perpetrators, they are losing lives of their own citizens. And just imagine, on the one hand, your country is waging war against somebody else. On the other hand, you lose your son, you lose your daughter, because they were sent as soldiers in the army, in the battlefield, and they die. And just imagine for parents, the whole world, your child is the whole world. And then so this is it's a loss. In other words, it's a loss. Whereas there's a possibility where His Holiness the Dalai Lama have the vision of a possibility whereby there's a win-win. Instead of loss, win-win, where everybody seeing another leader, seeing the citizens of another country, there's joy coming. This is something known as the world of the harmony, world of the peace. So with this in mind, we are so lucky that the world has produced such a leader, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In India, Mahatma Gandhi, and then in South Africa, the Nelson Mandela, and such amazing leaders were produced at the same time. And today, this is a very sad situation. We pray that more of such leaders are produced from the vision of His Holiness being put into mission by Emory University in the form of sea learning, and which is luckily, very fortunately, very fortunate for the world, that we see that the whole world on the grassroots level. Everywhere in the world, in the different countries, they are showing interest in this, and they are implementing. They take this as a part of the program, and these children who come up, who are produced from these programs of the universal ethics today, they taking the form of what is known as C learning, social, emotional, ethical learning, and the children being produced from these programs, no doubt they'll become leaders of peace, leaders of harmony, and leaders of the giving hands to each other rather than sending missiles to each other. So, with this in mind, who can do that? We never know that you have your family, you have your the friend circle, the friend circle, and you have your own, say the people in the workplace and so forth, and but you being part of this program, that you can influence others. So we can influence others, and this is where genius, the leaders, true leaders with tremendous potential can be born there and then instilled with the qualities of compassion as His Holiness the Dalai Lama embodied. And these leaders will prove to really change the course of the world from the war to the peace. So with this expectation, the best gift that we can think of to His Holiness, to be offered to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for his having made such a great contribution to the world. Just imagine that for this last just imagine that if His Holiness, for the last like 60, 70 years of His Holiness the Dalai Lama here on the planet Earth, if this was missing, just imagine what the world would have been. It would have been very different, with much, much more on the chaotic, on a very high level, the combats, fights, conflicts, and so forth. No doubt that was the case. It's all because of His Holiness's presence, that he was communicating with everyone here and there in the world the last like 60, 70 years, that the people come to know about His Holiness, and these people, their children, when they become the leaders, they become much more sensible leaders in comparison with otherwise. So that way, and for such the leader who really made such a contribution to the world, as some sense of expression of gratitude to such a leader, to His Holiness, to Mahatma Gandhi, and to Nelson Mandela, and so forth. So to all these great leaders, let us pray. Let us offer these gifts, gift of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, meaning that I will try to manifest my full capacity in the service of the humanity, in the service of the sentient beings, so that the world will be a better world today, tomorrow, and in the future to come. So keep in mind that this will be the best of offering for all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, including His Holiness and all the compassionate leaders. With this in mind, let us engage in this practice of what is known as taking the aspirational Bodhisattva vow. So it first begins with setting proper motivation. Just visualize the enlightened masters who are the source of inspiration to you with respect to compassion and wisdom and so forth. For example, like as I said earlier, His Holiness Mahatma Gandhi, or like Nelson Mandela, and so forth. And in fact, His Holiness the Dalai Lama has an incredibly great sense of hope in Barack Obama, the President Obama. And yes, of course, he is putting the best of his effort in making the world a better world. So like this, there are so many leaders from different countries, different nationalities, and so forth. And just bring to your mind those enlightened beings, enlightened beings are God and goddesses, and even in human forms, who are the source of inspiration to you with respect to compassion, cultivating compassion, and bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness, to get a deeper sense of common sense. And for the Bodhicitta field, visualize your two kind parents and all of family members, your children, and all other dear mother sentient beings from whichever country, whichever nationality, whichever religion, whichever gender. And so whatever, just include everybody as your brothers and sisters. And we all have this capacity to render the greatest sense of the friendship, harmony, peace in yourself and in others. At the same time, failing to recognize this, believing in pure external that brings wars. Recognize your internal quality, recognize your internal treasure of the happiness. This will give rise to the harmony and the peace. So make a very strong commitment that today, in the presence of all these enlightened masters like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, let me put my effort in awakening my hidden treasure, whereby first that I learn how to be compassionate, I learn how to be happy myself, and then I learn how to share this wisdom of the happiness and compassion to all other beings. So with this mind, I request the Shalinila to
Can you page 3. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Taking refuge in generating Bodhicitta. Sangye choda suge chonamla, changchu badu dagni kyapso che, dage jinso kepe sonamke, dola penche sangye drupa sho. Sangye choda suge chonamla, changchu badu dagni kyapso che, dage jinso kepe sonamke, dola penche sangye drupa sho. Sangye choda soge chonamla, chanchu baidu dagni kyapsochi, dage jinso kepe sonamki, drola penche sangye drupa sho. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the host of Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, the knower of all, which leads the hearers, Shravakas, seeking pacification to complete peace, the knower of paths, which causes the Bodhisattvas with altruism to help migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and omniscience, the thorough possession of which helps the Buddhas expound a variety of teachings endowed with complete aspects of subjects. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. The essence of the dependent origination mantra. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavatat Tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. Om tu prabhava hetum tesham tatha gato Tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. Om tu prabhava hetum tesham tatha gato yavata tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. Meaning of the dependent origination mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. Whatever is a cessation of these causes is taught thus by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite, such is the nectar-like Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is a perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times, I pay obeisance. The 4 seals of Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. All phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not wash away the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries with his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. Instructions on parting from the 4 attachments. If you're attached to this life, you're not a spiritual practitioner. If you're attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you're attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there's grasping, you do not have the view. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in mystery's gloom. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings as my guests. I will engage in the appealing deeds of excellence of enlightenment. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Page 15. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the Tathagata, the 4 destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O Supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I'm supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. That frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the Sangha, I prostrate. I prostrate to the Buddha, the chief of bipeds. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the supreme one. To all three, I always prostrate with reverence. With extreme devotion do I always prostrate. To all who are worthy of prostrations, through surrendering my bodies, numbering particles that constitute all realms. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the state of omniscience, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 31, the Heart Sutra. The Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Buddha was dwelling on Mass of Vultures Mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avlukteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avlukteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avlukteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomena. Eye element and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly, completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering should be known as truth since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared, Tyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avlukteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Shadvatiputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasata Arya Vrakteshwara, those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha. Is the Arya Bhagavati Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. Dayatha Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhi Swatyatha Om 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 Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhi Swatyatha. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspiciousness and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Page 34. 8 verses for training the mind by Geshe Langri Tangpa. With a determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jeweled treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns. I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. Lama Tsongkhapa's Lamrim Dedication Prayer, verse 1. From my 2 collections, vast as space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom, eye is blinded by ignorance. Page 39. 7-limb practice, excerpt from the King of Prayers, the extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samantabhadra. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri, you the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions, to all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with the sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle are Buddhas numberless as particles, each amidst a host of Bodhisattvas, and I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way, with infinite oceans of praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice. I sing the breathtaking excellence of the Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sagatas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, I offer to you, victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array, I offer to you, victorious ones. With transcendent offerings peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these I openly lay bare before you. Lift up my heart and rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers, hearers still training, and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained a Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for eons numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering, and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddhas stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Page 42, short mandala offering. In English first. This ground, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land.
O Sajib
The 4 dharmas of Venerable Gampopa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practice is on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is freed of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The 4 dharmas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps at true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Nirathayami. Page 44. The Foundation of All Good Qualities by Lama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to them is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karmas follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is a door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all other migratory beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I've pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Next verse, first in English. Your Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hordes of demons without exception, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Losang Drapa, at your feet I make prostrations.
We read the English translation once more. You are Bodhicitta, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, disciple whose the demons without exception, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sage of the land of snows, Losantrapa at your feet, I make prostrations. Okay, thank you, Shalinila. Thank you so much. And now we are going to do the what is known as generating the mind of consummate yoga in Tibetan. For this, maybe there are 4 things to keep in mind. The first is the body. The first is the Shamatha meditation, single point of meditation, 5 minutes of meditation, followed by renunciation, then Bodhicitta with my emptiness, and taking the aspirational Bodhisattva down. Okay, so for that, the 5 minutes. 5 minutes of the Shamatha meditation. My back. Okay. Ready? 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. So with this, let us quickly meditate on renunciation based on the 4 seals. So this is going to be meditation, as we already know, is of 2 kinds: analytical meditation and single point meditation. We require both. And what we did just now is the single point meditation. Now we're going to do the analytical. So all these which require thinking, like renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness. So where the thinking is required, that is where the analytical meditation is involved. So for this mind, there's going to be a very quick meditation, for which we all try to follow the instructions and don't try to listen to what is being shared here, trying to correlate with what you've learned before, heard before, read before. Instead, just try to take advantage of this being together to invoke the experiences to the best you can. And experiences will eventually transform our emotional thoughts, and that is the one which can awaken hidden treasure within us. Okay, but as a mind, just do the earlier revisualization of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us as so loving, caring, and embracing. And your parents, your children, and all family members, and all the other sentient beings living on the other side, human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, god or goddesses, spirits, everyone around you. But as the mind, the renunciation is not to renounce your miseries. It is not to renounce your happiness. It is not to renounce the joys, the happiness that you have. The renunciation, oftentimes people have a misconception. Renunciation means to renounce your good things that you have, happiness, good house, good cars, and so forth. This is a total misconception. Renunciation is to renounce your miseries, the painful experiences. That is meaning of the renunciation. To renounce painful miseries, you need to know how to renounce the causes of the miseries. And causes of miseries, Buddha identified as summarized by Nagarjuna. Ceasing of karmic afflictions is nirvana. Karmic afflictions that arise from conceptualization of inappropriate attention, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance, and the elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. So with this in mind, from here we can see that the contaminant karmas, we have to stay away from contaminant karmas, the non-virtuous actions to the best we can, afflictions, attachment, anger, jealousy, and the ignorance to the best we can to stay away from them, and likewise inappropriate attention, exaggerating the qualities, the good things or bad things, and then finally waking up from the sleep of ignorance. So the Buddha identified ignorance as the root of all the miseries. And for that matter, ignorance, we need to know that it has various levels. And Buddha particularly identified 4 of them: ignorance, which misconceives impure things, which misconceives impermanent phenomena as permanent, which misconceives miseries as happiness, which misconceives impure things as pure, and finally, which misconceives what is selfless nature as of selfhood. So to eradicate these 4 misconceptions, or the levels of ignorance, the Buddha taught the 4 seals. Just first, all composite things are impermanent. And composite things which are composed of material parts, in other words, directional parts, or temporal parts in time, should necessarily be of the nature of impermanence. And as physics, the particle physicists would teach us that the whole universe made of the matter, they're constantly in flux of change. This is what the Buddha indicated as all composite things impermanent. And Buddha added the mind is also impermanent in nature. And impermanence is of two kinds: gross impermanence and a subtle impermanence. Gross impermanence, impermanence whose continuum terminates. For example, our youth. For example, the very powerful people in the world in the past, like Julius Caesar or Alexander the Great or Genghis Khan and so forth. Now they're all gone. They're all gone. It's impermanent. Seems to be so powerful and so like they can conquer the whole world. But they themselves are gone. Forget about conquering them. They're all gone. Likewise today, what we see as somebody, the people, the President of America and so forth, they're so powerful, so like he or she is like the king of the whole world. It's just a matter of a few years. They would just simply disappear from the history of humanity. Only the notoriety of them will be left, will be remembered, unfortunately. So this is the meaning of the impermanence. Seeing impermanence, failing to see impermanence, people grab things are so intrinsically permanent. As such, they tend to fight. They tend to invest everything to have the grab of the power, the money, the finance, position, and so forth. This is our failure to understand the impermanence and subtle impermanence. Impermanence that you see, for example, if you don't believe, look at these old forts. We go to fortresses, we go to these places as sightseeing, as the tourists. But if you think when you go on tourism, there are two ways of doing that. One is, oh, these are beautiful fortresses, but most smart people will see the impermanence. Okay, once upon a time, these are not the sightseeing places. These places were heavily guarded by the securities. And who are there? The very powerful kings and the queens are there. Now, where they're all gone. And if you still don't understand it, look at the pharaohs, the mummies of the pharaohs, the gigantic pyramids. What are these? These are the tombs. Tombs are to bury the bodies, dead bodies, kings and queens. These are the impermanence to tell us this impermanence. If these things is impermanence hit is powerful people, what I mentioned for us, the ordinary beings. Yes, that's very true. So wise people realizing this impermanence, seeing every phenomenon that we see around as a teacher of impermanence, one day, 10 years later, I'll be somewhere, 20 years later, I'll be somewhere. And for those who are in your 20s, after 10 years, I'll be somewhere. After 20 years, I'll be somewhere. What the tension, stress, and the joys, the youth that I feel today will all become like memories. If you don't believe in the elders like my age, they are your witness. They will tell you that once upon a time, they were your age. And now the youth gone. But the stress also gone, stress of the youth, they're gone. At the same time, the youth, extremely agile body is also gone. This is impermanence. So this impermanence change that we see is possible only if there's the subtle impermanences, momentariness involved. And the momentary changes. So if you think of this, the change that is going over the span of 100 years is possible only if the change is happening on the yearly basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, hourly basis, minute by minute basis, second by second basis. The change on the second level, on the level of the seconds, is quite visible where the clock ticks, tick, tick, tick. And the change that you see on the level of the seconds is possible only if the change is happening on the millisecond level, which is so fast. Now, do you know that? Just press the timer button on your mobile or the stopwatch on the mobile and then see how the digits move. They were so fast. This is a subtle impermanence. Your body is changing that fast. Whole world is changing that fast. So it's so like we are thrown in a very fast moving train. Now, what do you feel if a stranger picks you up from that train platform and throws you in a very fast moving train? What do you feel? Very scary. Why is scary? Because we don't know where this train is taking us. Faster the train moves, more the fear, because we don't know where the train is taking us. And who decides where the train is taking us? The driver decides. And if the driver is a mother, of course, will take you to a picnic spot. But if the train driver is the terrorist, will only take you to the slaughterhouse. And unfortunately, with us, although our train is like our mind is taking us, but the mind is under the dictate of the voice of the terrorist, self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. The Buddha identified ignorance as the root of all the miseries, and self-centered attitude is one which in combination with self-grasping ignorance, all the miseries and the tears of samsara are created. Okay, that's very true. So where there is the impermanence driven by the terrorists, like worse of the contaminations, mental contaminations, self-grasping ignorance will only take us to miseries. This is what the Buddha indicated as the second seal. All contaminated things are suffering nature. Suffering like what? Three kinds of suffering. And those of us who are already exposed to the deeper studies of Buddhist philosophy, you will come to know what they are. But those who are new, don't worry. It's just think of the pains that we have to go through, the tears that we have to go through in our life. Each one of us, no doubt, we have shed tears on many occasions. And every time we shed tears, painful tears, so acute painful, that nobody wants to go through these painful experiences. Yet, if you're driven by ignorance, this is inevitable. We cannot really do anything to get away from that. Yes, I understand this. I personally went through all these pains. Even as a little child, you went through these pains, and the elders, you've gone through many of these situations, or painful situations. Yes, it's very tiring. When will these pains stop? 2025 stopped on its own. We did not do anything to stop it, but it stopped it on its own. And these pains, when will they stop? Yes. Well, there's one class of phenomena which stops on their own, like 2024, 2025, and your youth will also disappear like this. And whatever situation, the stress that you're going now, or the joy that you're going through now, they will all disappear. One day it will become like a very faint memory. Yes. And there's another class of phenomena, the painful tears that we have to shed. It will never stop until you put a conscious effort. And what kind of effort is required to counteract the root of the ignorance, the root of the miseries, which is the ignorance? Unless we put effort, as long as you keep feeding the lamp with the fuel, the lamp will never stop. Likewise, as long as this ignorance, we continue to feed our mind with the ignorance, the pains will never stop. Ignorance is like the fuel for the flame of the miseries, flame of the painful tears. So how to stop this ignorance? How to stop this fuel of the ignorance? Just introduce counterforce, which is the wisdom. So no matter how much you pray to the Buddha, no matter how much you pray to God, goddesses, or whatever, if you don't put effort to introduce the counterforce, your pain will never stop. Ignorance will never stop. So just as no matter how much pray to Buddha or the enlightened beings, we can't expect that you become a Nobel laureate in physics. So if you want to become a Nobel laureate in physics, the only way how to do is, instead of praying to Buddha and so forth, you have to study physics. Likewise, to get rid of this ignorance, the only way by which to do so is by introducing wisdom. And that requires, for this, the great teachers like Buddha, they came to teach us not to make these realizations with their own realizations to be transferred to you. So with this mind, the question is, then what is this wisdom to counteract this ignorance? Yes, wisdom by the very definition is the discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. What's the reality? The reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything's still, everything's nature, empty and selflessness, meaning everything's like a dream. The dream can affect us so badly in the dream that the dream ghost can really create a nightmare in you. The moment you wake up, The dream ghost cannot do anything, cannot affect you anything. All the fears of life, all the fears of the dream nightmare simply dissolve. Wow, that's amazing. This is what the Buddha indicated, that knowing the dream is dream, your fears, the fear of the dream dissolves. Likewise, knowing the whole world, whole universe like a dream, your fears and tension dissolves. Okay, how to realize this? Okay, given that both offline and online participants, I know that many of you are already part of the studies, you've already have some idea about what the concept of emptiness is, like a dream concept is like. Those of us who are new, yes, there's a possibility for the course, to join the course here. We have the Nalinda Master's course, Nalinda Diploma course, Batch 6, introduced just recently, and still the enrollment is happening. And if you're interested, there's the possibility for you to join now. So for this, you can be a part of, just communicate with one of the Tibetan staff, or you dial to Tibetan's office, say, I want to join in Nalinda Diploma course Batch 6. And then the enrollment is not that easy, not that busy, and not that difficult. It's easy. Okay, so what is that wisdom? So those of us who are not aware of this concept, don't worry. Just try to follow this as much as you can. And those who already have some idea of what emptiness is, and this will be a refreshment for you. Okay. Just think of what are you doing? I'm meditating. So what is this? How does this self appear to you? Which you identify as I'm, like a dream, or like a dream, or as something so objectified, the objectified, solidly objectified there. Of course, so solidly objectified there. Of course, it's not like a dream which my mind creates. It's totally independent of my mind's creation. Okay, this belief that this self exists intrinsically real as subjective, this is known as the self-grasping ignorance. This is the one, where we see things as objectively real, that is where we are sucked up in the dream of samsara. Okay, so how do you know that this is ignorance, is not a valid mind? Yes, but let's remember what Nagarjuna taught. If the mirage were to be water, or not those close by the mirage see water, with a similar token reasoning, if the self would exist objectively, why don't I see the self as I go closer to the object? Okay, now going closer to the object, which is technically known as subjecting the self to ultimate analysis. By going closer, we end up seeing the very thin layer of the skin, behind that the fatty tissue, behind that the cartilages, the muscles, and then the whole skeleton, the heart, the lungs, the liver, the pancreas, and so forth. All the solid parts constitute the element of earth. And the element of earth, of course, that is not to be seen as intrinsically one to identify as the cell. Element of water, 4 liters of blood pumped in and out by the heart to the different parts of the body. Of course, that is not to be identified as this I. Element of fire, 2006 joules of energy. In simple terms, the body heat. That's also not me. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that we breathe in and out through your lungs, through different parts of the body. Of course, that is also not me. Element of space, 99.99% of our body is just a vacuum. Imagine the body is just made of trillions of atoms, and the atoms are space between the electrons and the nucleus. The space is so vast in comparison with the space occupied by the electrons, neutrons. Yes. So essentially we are like vacuum, but I'm not vacuum, I'm a solid person. So therefore, even the element of space is also not me. Now the element of consciousness or the mind is also not me. I'm a male, I'm a female. The gender is posited based on the body, and the mind does not have a body, so therefore it does not have a gender. And also that people can see me from distance, but they cannot see my mind. So even this mind or the consciousness also not me. Okay. Now, where is the self then? Now you have come too close to the object to see if the self exists objectively. Where is the self now? And if there's 6 elements, none. Different from these 6 elements, none. In also ultimate analysis, not in the eyes of the conventional analysis, in the eyes of ultimate analysis. So both the possibilities that are established intrinsically, one with the body, one with the parts, and different from the parts, both are rejected. So let us now tell me, in your experience, where is the objective existence self, which I earlier identified as subjective I, is nowhere to be seen. Stay in this experience for a while. For some of you, there could be like goosebumps coming, a tinge of fear comes. For some, extremely tranquil feeling can just touch at the core of your being, at the heart. And in some cases, tickling sensations can flow through your body. If any of these indications happen, you are very fortunate. But don't think that this is emptiness. You are going in the direction of emptiness. And if these indications do not happen, don't worry. That study more, contemplate more, and you're bound to get these experiences eventually. Okay, now see, this experience is amazing. What is the benefit of this experience? Yes, just as the self is discovered that objectively is empty. And imagine that you come out of this meditation, again the self comes back. You go into the same meditation, the self disappears. So there's we see the constant shift in the self appearance from disappearance, appearance, disappearance. But on the level of self, there's no change. But on the appearance level, there's a change. So whatever is appearance is purely subjective. So therefore, what is involved with this appearance is purely subjective. It's purely subjective. The object is really non-existent. Objectively non-existent, subjectively it exists. Okay, just in this for a while, objectively, where is the self? In the eyes of ultimate analysis, it is nowhere to be seen. Just in this experience for a while. Okay, so just as the self dissolved in the experience of emptiness, all our sickness, aging, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish, all these mental angst, mental pains, and disturbance, mental sorrows, when subjected to the same analysis, they all dissolve in the thin air of the experience of the emptiness. All the stress dissolves. This is what the Buddha indicated as a fourth seal. Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. In the experience of this emptiness, you experience the absolute peace, which can never be shaken by any other experiences, any other factors. This is known as absolute peace. In the experience of emptiness, all the sorrow and the mental disturbance dissolves. Okay, just seeing this experience with the aspiration, may I forever remain in this experience of emptiness, where all my sorrows are transcended. This aspiration is known as renunciation. Okay, slowly come out of this meditation to move to the Bodhicitta practice. Slowly come out of this. Okay, ready? And Bodhicitta practice, there are two methods, but we are not going to do any of these two methods because that these require quite a chunk of time, and we, due to time constraint, we'll do the Bodhicitta based on the four immeasurables. Okay, so the practice of four immeasurables, oftentimes my friends tell me that this practice of four immeasurables is very superficial. What I try to contemplate and what my mind says, these two are totally contradictory. So this so superficial. Yes, it's very superficial, no doubt. At the same time, keep in mind that it's like the practice of the music. And when you practice music, we see that you learn how to which keys to press when you're practicing the keyboard. Even though you mimic your teachers, but there's no music, it's just a noise coming out. So you're trying to mimic, it's very superficial, still there's no music, it's noise. And keep doing it, which is the meaning of the practice. And eventually we see that that there's a real beautiful music comes out eventually. So this is because of the practice. So where there's a superficiality there, and you keep practicing this, and eventually it becomes real. So this is known as a practice. If it's already right from the beginning, if it is a beautiful experience coming, then there's no need of the practice. Okay, with this in mind, and let us just fully try to invoke the experiences to the best you can. And even if the experience, there's no experience to come, nothing to worry about. Just try your best. Try your best. This is what is required. Okay, good. Follow the instructions as much as possible. The first, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all my dear Mother Sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. All will take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the cause of happiness. The Buddhas of Bodhisattvas witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, the intense habit proud of you, this pride and happiness invoke the compassionate minds to ascend for nectars of soothing lights towards you and all dear sentient beings. The mere touch of blessed nectars with the body experience yours instills in all happiness and a cause of happiness like Bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness in the minds of you and all dear sentient beings. And you, witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the dear sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sound with relief. Immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all my dear Mother Sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. Cause of suffering primarily consisting of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. I will take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. Imagine the Buddhas of Bodhisattvas, like the mother of all these many years of bringing his children, and seeing this pain, the sentient being, in the children, the mother's pain so deeply. And this is exactly what happens to Buddhas Bodhisattvas. As such, their son for nectars were soothing lights to see that you are making such a courageous commitment, like the mother seeing that the eldest daughter or eldest son, although just age 12 or age 11, they made the promise to the mother that we're grown up, we'll take care of you, Mom, and we know how much you love us. Now we're grown up, we'll also take care of all our siblings. And the mother couldn't believe her eyes and ears, eyes. She's so proud of you. This is exactly what happens to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They feel so happy and proud of you for you taking the responsibility for all the dear sentient beings to take upon you the suffering of the beings. So this joy and happiness Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel invoke the compassionate minds to ascend for nectars of soothing lights towards you and all dear sentient beings. A mere touch of last nectars with the body experience yours washes away all the miseries and cause the miseries for the minds of sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all of them as sentient beings. You're intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. So with this, we'll directly jump to the Bodhicitta practice or Bodhicitta commitment. With folded hands, we'll make a Bodhicitta commitment 3 times together wholeheartedly. We will say this together 3 times. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother sentient beings. This is amazing, beautiful mind. This is the most beautiful mind that you can possibly think in this whole universe. And today you have generated this. And slowly transform this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta into spotless, clean, moon disk, horizontally seated with the heart. It's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha before the benevolent sentient beings. But keep in mind, no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, I know that. I'm not like a handful of sand, I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds, squeezing which oil does come out of the Buddha nature within me. But if the Buddha nature, how come that is not activated since time immemorial till today? Yes, it's all because that I'm being deceived by the two demons, two terrorists, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude, giving me the impression that they are the best of my friends, or the best and most powerful the security personals to protect me. And today I'm disillusioned by them, and I'm going to do everything to exterminate these two things. Now, what are you going to do to exterminate these two demons? By introducing a very powerful remedy. What is the remedy? The wisdom of emptiness. Okay, so let us try to recall the wisdom of emptiness, which you meditated as a third of the four seals, that everything is nature, emptiness, and selflessness. Okay, let's quickly retreat that experience. Think of yourself. How does this person appear to you? Like a dream, or they're so independent of your mind? Of course, so independent of the mind. And this belief that the self exists as object real is ignorance, self-grasping ignorance. How do you know that this ignorance is just not the valid cognition? To evaluate this, imagine what Nagarjuna taught. If the mirage were to be water, but not those close by the mirage see water, but a similar token reasoning, if the self would exist subjectively, why don't I see the self as why don't I see this self as I go to analyze it with my ultimate analysis? Okay, now let us subject the self to ultimate analysis the way we did before. Okay, then we going to see the very thin of the skin and so forth, element of earth, element of water, element of fire, element of air, element of space, and element of consciousness. Now, what are you seeing? I'm just seeing the 6 elements. Which of the 6 elements is to be identified as intrinsically one with the self, or different from one with the self, or intrinsically as different from the self? None. But where is the self, for which earlier you saw as intrinsically real, object real? Where is that? It's nowhere to be seen. Besides 6 elements, there's nothing to be seen as self. Same experience for a while, but the self is seen as the emptiness of the self. The self dissolves in experience of the non-affirming negative. Still experience for a while. Slowly transform this incredibly most fearless mind into a spotless, clean, thumb-sized white Vajra, vertically sitting on the moon disk of the heart. Amazing. You have now the blaze of the non-dual bodhicittas. 2 bodhicittas in blaze as non-dual. The moon symbolic of the conventional bodhicitta, which guarantees to exterminate self-centered attitude, and the Vajra symbolic of the ultimate bodhicitta, which is the non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas, to exterminate all the mental defilements, both afflictive and cognitive obscurations, the removal of which the Buddha nature, the hidden treasure within us, will be awakened fully, that we experience total fearlessness and an infinite ease. Amazing, that's amazing. That's amazing, but at the same time, remember your 2 parents and all of our members. They are suffering so much, while you have generated the 2 bodhicittas remedies to remove all your stress, anxiety, and so forth. Yes, generate very strong compassion to all the beings. And this compassion invokes your Vajra moon at your heart to multiply infinite number of times. And share one set of Vajra moon at the heart of your mother, one set with a father at his heart, one set with each one of them members with children, one with each of you're one of each of the beings here in India, in your own country, in the whole world, in the minds of every creature in the vast oceans, from the tiny amoeba to the biggest of the blue whales, in the wilderness, from the tiniest of the insect to the biggest of the elephants and so forth, in the world, in the entire Milky Way galaxy, in the entire Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they're watching us. Why not? We invite all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to be the witness to undertaking the ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. And then as Geshe making this request, they slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations, along with all their mother sentient beings, to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Okay, see if you can sit on the right knees. Those who have no knee problem or back problem, so forth, please feel free to sit on your right knees. But so those who do have knee problems, then you sit in whatever position is more comfortable for you with this mind. Okay, on page 49. Page 49. Okay, so let me quickly explain to you the several verses. There are total like 5 verses we're going to read, and let me explain the first verse and the last 2 verses. Before which I like to just create the environment for us, atmosphere for us. As invited, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they are with us, and it's a matter of it's not just a visualization. The reality is that Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they are with us. Only things that are negative karmic force obstructs us from having the vision of these enlightened Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. So they're actually there with us. It says, where the faith is, where you have a sense of respect, devotion, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas abide in front of you. So the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas stay with us. Imagine that you are a little girl, just age 4 or 5, or a little boy, age 4 or 5. For the first time in your life, you are making public appearance on behalf of the school, and you are a little nervous, and your parents, they leave behind whatever they have to do that day to join you as a part of the audience, and waving the hands to you, saying that we are here, and they feel so proud. This is exactly what has happened to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. They're watching us as you made the request to be the witness to our taking the Aspirational Bodhisattva vow. They are here with us. And then you, as very small, although you're a very young little girl, little boy, you're a very responsible child, bringing along with you all your other siblings to let them also take part in this program. And this is exactly what you're doing here. You bring all the Dhamma essential beings with you, your parents, your children, your family members, and everyone in your own country and the entire world, the beings in the water bodies, in the wilderness, in the entire universe. You are bringing all of them with you. That's amazing. So with this mind, and that the first verse, we said that you are committing yourself to awaken this hidden treasure within you. That you become totally fearless, that all the fear, painful tears stop, the ease expands to infinity. And this is the journey they're going to take, and then share this wisdom with all the demon sentient beings, and lead all the demon sentient beings to the same experience of the fearlessness, infinity, and happiness. So that journey is a very important journey. As such, you require the greatest of the support, and which is none other than the Triple Gem. So the first line says, "I go for refuge to the Triple Gem." And this journey involves the road. If the road is blocked by the boulders and the fallen trees and so forth, again, you cannot undertake the journey. And this road is none other than your own mind. Your mind must be freed of the boulders and the hidden trees like the mental defilements. We must free the mind of the mental defilements. So for that, one of the most effective ways by confessing the negativities, mental defilements. So second line says, I confess the negativities individually. And now the road is clear, but if the car doesn't have fuel, again, we cannot undertake the journey. The car should have enough fuel. The car is none other than your own mind, and the mind should have the enough fuel to take the journey to enlightenment. So, and the best way by which to do so, the Buddha very clearly declared that is by rejoicing in the virtues of all the beings with no jealousy and so forth, purely rejoicing in the virtues of all the beings, including the virtue that you have accumulated. So third line says, I confess in the virtues of all the beings. And then, okay, now the road is clear and your car is in the fuel. What kind of journey I'm going to undertake? The last line says, I hold precious Buddhahood in my heart. Okay, let's recite these 3 verses together wholeheartedly. Try as much taking the opportunity that we collectively, we have invited all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, we collectively make the effort to make this day a very special day, and that to awaken this hidden treasure within you. And so why not? We make the most of this. So with this mind, let's recite these 3 times together. All the 3 verses. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge in Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to resolve the accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guest, and shall engage the appearing gist of accidents and enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to resolve the accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guest, and shall engage in the appearing gist of accidents or enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to resolve the accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guest, and shall engage in the appearing gist of accidents or enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. The next 2 verses, I'm going to quickly explain this. And by invoking Gurus, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to pay heed to us, the first verse says that who has actually succeeded in undertaking this journey. In the history, browsing through the history book, we come to discover that the 2,500 years ago, there was once upon a time a prince by the name Prince Siddhartha, and he succeeded in his journey. Then the question is, how did he succeed? So he succeeded by creating 2 factors. The first is the factor of having generated very powerful motivation of bodhicitta, wanting to manifest this hidden treasure within himself fully, and thereby he himself experienced the fearlessness, infinite happiness, and then embarked on the journey to share this wisdom with all the demon sentient beings. So if this is how he succeeded, and having generated this bodhicitta, then he actually engaged in the bodhisattva practices. What kind of practices? 6 perfections, 10 perfections, and in all, put together is the practice to exterminate the selfishness, and the practice to encourage other cherishing. compassionate, universal compassion, and technically known as the skillful compassion. Compassion which goes for which the aims to attain what is known as win-win situation. It's not just the other win and you lose. Instead of that, it's a win-win. This is known as skillful compassion. Usually, compassion, people, one complaint people come with is that when I practice compassion, then people take advantage of my compassion and then I suffer loss. So how to deal with this? This is very unskillful compassion. Skillful compassion is compassion driven by the wisdom, where you don't suffer, you don't lose, but there's a win-win situation for you and for all others. For example, this war happening in the world. If the leaders, they are really, really, really very sensible, extremely compassionate, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, no doubt that all these billions, trillions of dollars dumped into the world warfare to just destroy the world, destroy all the infrastructures on both sides. So all these, the wealth can be used for the human flourishing. So this is where the skillfulness is required. So the compassion, when driven by ignorance, can destroy you and destroy others, but the compassion driven by wisdom, that is known as the universal compassion or skillful compassion. So here, the Buddha actually practiced skillful compassion and he succeeded in his journey. And now we are reaping the benefit of this. For example, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the 17 Nalanda great Indian masters, they were all the products of this brilliant wisdom the Buddha shared with the sentient beings. So this is how he succeeded. Wow, that's amazing. Then the second verse says, if this is how he succeeded, I'll also follow his footsteps. I'll also try to create the two factors. One, to generate very powerful bodhicitta commitment or bodhicitta motivation, wishing to become Buddha. Bodhicitta meaning wishing to become Buddha, which means wishing to uncover the hidden treasure within myself, to experience fearlessness and infinite happiness for the benefit of oneself and for the benefit of all the sentient beings. With this motivation, I will then go for the second factor, to engage in the Bodhisattva practices, to materialize this aspiration by engaging in the 6 perfections, 10 perfections, and particularly to exterminate the motivation, the very poisonous motivation of selfishness, and to encourage the other cherishing universal compassion. So keeping this in mind, we'll recite the 2 verses together 3 times wholeheartedly. And imagine that you're leading this practice and all beings are joining us. And those who start to feel pain in your legs, please feel free to sit down in whatever and take the position whichever is more comfortable for you. The pain should not hamper our thinking. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise, for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Feel the joy of having received the Aspirational Bodhisattva vow. Extremely meritorious, fortunate that we have generated the Bodhicitta vow today. We obtained this Bodhicitta vow, Aspirational Bodhisattva vow. Very, very, very fortunate, and that you gave the opportunity for all the demonstration beings. They too got the same share. And with this in mind, repeat this after 3 times out of me. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Ubatayami. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Ubatayami. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Ubatayami. Om Surade Samayastam O Siddha Vajayata Sukham. Om Surade Samayastam O Siddha Vajayata Sukham. Om Surade Samayastam O Siddhya, Vajrayana Sukham. Okay, so with this, all the Bodhisattvas, they're so happy. Just imagine that you are a little girl, little boy in a school, and your mother is always receiving complaint when the parents, children, parents, teacher meeting, but is always getting complaint about you by from the teacher that you're taught her like this, your son is like this. They are so too indisciplined and so forth. The mother always have to hear something very unpleasant. And today's school principal comes, and the mother again feeling, what kind of a complaint today? The school principal says, no, 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 we came here to congratulate you. But for that your daughter and your son, although they are very young, very little, they are appointed the best students of the school for this year. We feel so proud of your two children. The mother couldn't believe her eyes and ears. For the first time all these years, she is hearing this something so pleasant. This is exactly what happens to all Bodhisattvas, that they only wish all these innumerable lifetimes, they only wish that we engage in virtues so that we'll have an abundance of happiness, and that instead, we just discard, we shun the virtues, and we forever remain just the deprived of the happiness. And then they only wish that we shun the causes of miseries, we shun the non-virtues, causes of miseries, and on the contrary, we always embrace the cause of miseries, the non-virtues with so much of excitement, joy, and thus we forever continue to reap the result of these non-virtues in the form of acutely painful experiences, painful tears. And today what you did is something very different. All the Bodhisattvas say, feel so proud of you today. This pride and happiness Bodhisattvas feel in both the full-fledged form of the Vajramuni in their hearts, to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, these replicas, innumerable replicas of Vajramun from the Bodhisattva, they descend. Like rain shower, they descend and merge with the one they visualize at your heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all the Vajramun from the Bodhisattva, they descend to merge with the one that visualize the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one family members, in the children, and each beings in your country, in the oceans, in the wilderness, in the entire Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe. Everyone thereby become non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. And this is amazing. What you did today, this is the greatest of the offering, greatest of the gift that you can make, that you can give to your parents of this life and parents of the past lives. And today you've made this gift. It's amazing. And of all the offerings that you can think of to be made for Bodhisattvas, the Buddha made it very clear that one moment of generating compassion far excels the gifts of the whole universe filled with gems, diamonds, gold, silver, and so forth, and offered all Bodhisattvas. If this were the case, what I mentioned for our having taken the aspiration Bodhisattva today you have made the greatest offerings to all Bodhisattvas. Amazing. And with your life, there's nothing greater an event, nothing greater an activity to be done. And what you have done then, what you've done today, that you've generated this incredibly precious Bodhicitta. So you have given such a purpose and meaning to your own life, and all these three wonders happening because of the blessings of the Buddhas Bodhisattvas, the kindness of the Buddhas Bodhisattvas, as a gesture of thanking all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas that slowly stand up along with all the sentient beings to make three prostrations to all Buddhas Bodhisattvas. Please take your seats. sit comfortably now. Okay. Page 50, page 50, and the last verse. So given that what we've done is extremely meaningful, and it would be wonderful if you can do it on I don't know, on a daily basis. Some can do it on a daily basis. If not, once in a while, once in a week, and so forth, that'll be extremely meaningful. And you realize as you grow older, so those in 20s, you may feel that, okay, this must be so precious. But then those who are in your, like 40s, 50s, you have seen the life, and there's nothing really, no essence in your life. It's just first life. But what we did today, that is something very different. That's something very meaningful, very productive, and one day we have to leave the world. And what to take to the next life? There's only good things that you have generated in your heart, and that is something that you can take, not to harm others, and offer benefit, service, meanwhile, skillfully, which means that it should be win-win, not win and loss. So that imprint we carry to the next life. That is the most precious thing. Otherwise, in the pursuit of this life, like wealth, power, and so forth. So physically, you are doing something, and mentally, you are injecting poison within yourself. And all the leaders just think of that. The wars happening. So look, just disregarding the life of the sentient beings, you just sent the wars. So what is happening? You're injecting, every time you do that physically, mentally, you're injecting poison within your mind. This poison you have to carry. The physical, whatever, you cannot carry the wealth, power, whatever, you cannot carry it to the next life. But what you can carry, what you will carry, you have to carry, is the poisons that have been injected in your mind. That is what you have to carry to the next life. So therefore, what we have done today is, instead of poison, we have injected the medicines. Medicine for compassion, medicine for wisdom, emptiness. That is something to be carried. And just if you can do it more frequently, like the bank deposits, the more you deposit, eventually the more the outcome. So likewise, the more you practice, the more you do it regularly, the more the power awakening of the hidden treasure within us will happen. So, and then also to make sure that in the future lifetimes that we can practice the same thing to continue this journey of awakening. We include that in the form of a very powerful the verse. So the verse that we have here, we'll recite it 3 times, the whole 103 times together. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious Bodhicittas even across my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious Bodhicittas even across my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious Bodhicittas even across my life. In order to further increase this, in order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who lucidly sees an awakened mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha and one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall it disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in Hebrew rubbish, likewise by some coincidence, an awakened mind has been born within me. It's the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It's the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. Is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and part of conditioned existence. It is a universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of the mind that expels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the mystic ignorance of the world. It is the quintessential butter from the churn of the middle of Dhamma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in the supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors and thou the world to be my guest at a festival temple and ultimate delight, may God's demigods all be joyful. Okay, now we'll do the introduction prayer, page 55. Okay, so no doubt that we have on this 15th day of the second month of the lunar calendar, that collectively we accumulate so much merit by generating this positive mind of Bodhicitta, by generating the Bodhisattva vow. So with this merit by they accumulated, there is dedicated days, that is Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth, that he lives long, that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously, that the whole world will continue to receive the blessings of His Holiness's presence. And also that, let's pray that all the wars happening in the world, they subside, they come to the reconciliation and understanding, and with the feeling of the understanding of the pains of each other, the pains of they may not know the pains of one's own family, but you have to feel, empathize with the people, the families the sons, whose daughters got killed from your side, from the other side, that you feel the pain, that you be able to feel, that these leaders be able to feel the pain, and thereby they come on terms to stop these wars in a very peaceful sense. And also let's pray that the violence happening in the world everywhere, including the domestic violence, they subside, and people, the goodness spreads in the world, the awareness spreads, awareness of the goodness spreads in the world, and that His Holiness's vision of the universal ethics today, having taken the form of sea learning, championed by Emory University, USA, now spreading everywhere in the world. Let this eventually be picked up by UNO, so that this program be made mandatory in every colleges, universities, schools, that the future leaders, after 50 years, after 100 years, the future leaders coming from this program, they become extremely sensible, compassionate, smart leaders to embrace each other, to save all these trillions of dollars, otherwise to be dumped into warfare or to be used for the human flourishing. So, and also that all the animals which are being killed were just for the human food, they also get total freedom, liberation, that the more food, more delicious food, the independent of the animals' involvement, may these thrive. And even the human beings, they tend to get a feel that the animals also feel the pain. So we should return to vegetarianism. So, and then finally, all these are determined by the respective causes. Where the causes are negative, the beings have to suffer. Where the causes are the virtues, people experience happiness. Each one of us is not about somebody else, it's about each one of us. Me, no matter how much talk, if I engage in negativities, I continue to suffer. The goodness that I engage in, the joys and happiness I would experience by myself, likewise for you, likewise for everyone. So therefore, may the goodness be adopted, may the virtues be adopted by all the beings, and may everybody shun the negative deeds, negative thoughts for their own benefit, that they be freed from all the ills of life. So with this mind, may this teaching of the Buddha on compassion, universal compassion, and a common sense of the wisdom of emptiness thrive in every nook and corner of the universe. With this mind, let us recite four verses together. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness, good. All powerful generous say Tenzin Gyatso, please remain on the system Sarva ends. Just as a brave Manjushri and summoned about her too, realize things they are. Also, I dedicate all these merits in the best way, that I may follow the perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with the dedication praised as the best, all the Buddhas who appear in 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva deeds. I dedicate the merits thus gathered towards the realization that deeds in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for 3 times, and to upholding the doctrine, scripture, and insight. Man, all lives through the force of this merit, never separate from the four wheels of the mind and vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, purview, and the two stages, having dispelled all in and outer obstacles and downfalls, such as poverty, despair, oppression, cruelty, epidemics, and natural disasters due to environmental degradation, all beings forever enjoy the glory of peace and happiness. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. May I spend day and night carefully reflecting on what means can enhance his teaching achieved by Supreme Savior, restoring his efforts over countless eons. From my two collections, vast space that I've amassed from working with effort in this practice for a great length of time, may I become the sheep leading Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom, and eyes are blinded by ignorance. We will recite the Buddha Shakyamuni verse praise 3 times together. So my here, my two area, my two and pay. Since you know how to sing it. Oh. Okay, so I request Chunzumla to lead this, and everybody will join Chunzumla.
आपके तुझे शाके सुटो शेंगे मिथु दूध के पूंजो पा सेगी लोपो Tabu jispe school shake kyalbo kela chamsa oh muni maha so oh muni maha so oh muni maha so oh maha so आपका तुझे शाके रिसोटो शेंगे मिथु दुर्गे जो सेगी school shake yalbo kela chansa oh maha so oh maha so oh maha so oh maha so आपके तुझे शाके Rinsuju Shengi Mitu Durgi Uju Zirgi No Sabar Chisri Shagi Yalbo Hitla Jase Om Di Maha Swa Om Maha Swa Om Maha Swa Om Buni Buni Maha Swa Om Buni Buni Maha Swa Om Maha Swa
As we now come to the conclusion of today's program, on behalf of Tibet House, New Delhi, and all my Dharma friends, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul for his profound teaching and kindly guiding us through the aspirational Bodhisattva vows today. We are truly thankful for your wisdom and compassion, Geshe. I would also like to make a brief announcement. We are pleased to share that the 30th batch of Tibetan language course offered by Tibet House New Delhi has successfully concluded on 31st March 2026. And the next batch registration for the 31st batch will open on 15 April 2026. We warmly encourage everyone who is interested to join and continue exploring the richness of Tibetan language. And I request my colleagues to kindly assist in the distribution of talk, holy edibles to all offline participants. All offline participants are kindly informed that the refreshments have arranged downstairs. So please help yourself. Thank you, everyone. I would also like to thank our interpreters.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, Tibet House. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Gisela. Thank you, Tibet House. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, Tibet House.
Thank you, Gisela. Thank you, Tibet House.
Thank you, Gisela.
Shidele to everybody.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you,
Gisela,
Tibet
dalam mambu
House. Muito
ye,
obrigada,
jomu
Geshe.
cawe lewa ye, Gisela gini.
Thank you, Tibet House.
Siapa?
Благодарю тибетский дом.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Venerable Geshe. Thank you, Tibet House. Thank you, Dhamma
Thank you
friends.
very much.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, Tibet House staffs. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, Tibet House.
Thank you, Gisela. Thank you, Tibet House. I rejoice that all the accumulations, merits for today and for the day after tomorrow, 3 times, Tsichana Kadinche, Samala Kadinlana Mabuche, Kadilana Mabuche.
Thank you very much, Geshe.
Thank you very much, Geshe.
Thank you very much, Geshe. Dear Geshe.
Thank you very much, Geshe.
Thank you.
Спасибо большое.
Yes. Yes.